Hi guys, this is Ramble and Record. Oh, hi Shirley. How are you guys? I just wanted to talk about Mother's Day, Moederdag. What does Mother Day mean to me now that I've become a mother? Been a mother for 2 years or maybe 3 years if you count the pregnancy, right? So if you count the pregnancy and my son being 2 years old, so kind of 3 year-ish maybe, being a mother, what does that mean to me? So Mother's Day definitely is a commercial day. That's how I see it. It's one day, and one day when moms are being, treated, having a special day, like, oh, it's Mom's Day, so let's treat her very special. When now becoming a mom, it's more than that. Mother's Day is every day, because Mother's Day is kind of like 24/7. When you become a mom, you don't even have any time off. You don't have vacation off. You don't have a break. And even though if you have a break, because I have a break right now by, going out without my son, going to browse, to shop. But it's still, you still spend some energy being awake, being, like on the move. I would have rather be at home or be at a retreat or a hotel where I could just, sit and sleep and just, nap and watch Netflix and kind of be like what I used to do when I was, childless. I would work on whenever I had the motivation or I needed to have, had a deadline. And then I was working, like 3 hours, 4 hours straight, even, in the middle of the night when everybody is sleeping. That is when I would have my, my motivation to work. And then during the day, I would hang out with friends. I would just go out and I would just, if I don't feel like it, I would just be at home, watch Netflix, not taking a shower, and then when I'm hungry I just go and order some food, grab it, or maybe take out, which wasn't usually a thing yet in Suriname. And then I would just do that. But now as a mom, I could do those things, but still you are like obligated to you're obligated to cook something. You're obligated to oh yeah, my son is hungry, so I need to tend to him. Even though there are moments where I was he was taking a nap and I was feeding him and then he fell asleep. And then I was like, okay, let's just go watch a Netflix show. And then I would binge watch this show. And then he would wake up and I'm like, oh, I should have done these and these and this, right? So there's no moments anymore to do those things as a mom. So being a mom is like 24/7, every day. No, you don't get paid, but you do all the works that that other people do for payment. Babysitter, being a chauffeur, being a school teacher, being a nurse, being a chef, So for me now, Mother's Day is like the awareness that there's more mental and emotional hardship, struggles and challenges. But I think also the beauty of seeing your child grow, also the beauty of seeing a personality that is similar to yours, seeing a human that triggers all your traumas and all the things that you want to work on, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't fully solved that. And just, be present with that boy. My son, yes, that's why I say boy. So that is in general for me Mother's Day, and how we should look at Mother's Day. And my husband said, "Ooh, don't expect anything from me for Mother's Day, because I haven't fully felt like you've been kind to me too on Father's Day." Was Father's Day is June, but anyway, I get it. We have I could talk about my relationship. It's not a toxic relationship. It's just that sometimes I'm not so kind to my husband. But it's not about my husband. It was about Mother's Day. Anyway, but he is very helpful. He's very supportive. It's because of him that I could stay at home and experience this, because to be fair, guys, come on. Okay. Ugh. You just have to wait for a moment, because I usually would talk when I'm driving, because then I would be on a rant and a ramble. But these people are anyway, yeah, let me just circle back to it, because now I arrived to do some shopping. Then I will circle back to you guys in a minute. Let's see, where will I park? I'll park a little bit further. Yeah, so my husband is pretty supportive. I couldn't have done being a stay-at-home mom without his help, And yes, I got in the good circumstances that how do you call it? Like, I'm here, I'm in America where I could not work yet for those 2 years because of my visa. But now, now it's different. Now I will work. But I'm so glad that I could have done that, because I did want to be present with my son and see him grow and help do that. So that is, if you can do it, if you can do it, you definitely need to do it. You definitely need to be experiencing being a stay-at-home mom. And it's not easy. Being a stay-at-home mom is not easy. I get overwhelmed a lot, but that's part of it. Anyway, I'll circle back to you guys, put you on pause, and then I'll come back. Hi, I'm back. Yeah, so I stopped at saying how grateful I am that I spent these 2 years with my son, see how he grows and develop, and how he has his own personality, and most of his personality is reflecting my personality. And yes, it's it's also overwhelming, and it's very different. For me, I chose to move to America with my husband when he decided that America is the better way to make money, earn money, and have a living for him, because the opportunities are wide and there's so many options, and it's very easy for him to to make money. That's how he said it. And I was like, yeah, I agree. And as a journalist, it's very easy to just like kind of pause my career and just go with him. And then yeah, I moved to America, and then after 6 months, or not after, like before the 6 month passed, the 180 days or something, or was it more? Anyway, then we decided, like, okay, are we staying longer here? Do we want to create a home here, or do I want to go back to Suriname? And we talked about it, and he said, okay, fine, let's just stay here, make a living. And so he decided to apply for the green card, to change my visa status. And that's what we did. And he did everything. By everything, I mean not only financially, but also the papers, reading into it, filling out the forms, and hoping that everything would be correct. And he did. I mean, I already have my green card. I got it last year on Thanksgiving, and that's that's great. And he did all those things. I just it was just not just, but I was being part of and focusing on the household and Tatum, and I enjoyed it. And I did some of my hobbies, new hobbies, creating new hobbies like cooking. So for me, motherhood, it's definitely being aware. And one thing that I would definitely, or I didn't know, or not that I didn't know, I mean, I was observing a lot, but when you're experiencing it, you definitely see that, hey, okay, I understand some things better. Like, for instance, I would understand a woman that has some mental issues, or not mental issues, mental challenges, right? I had those mental challenges too. There were some intrusive thoughts, but I wrote about it. I definitely talked with my husband about it, and he would be there and support me. And whenever he saw that I was overwhelmed, he would say, like, hey, you just go take some time for yourself, and then I'll take care of Tatum. And that helped. Or you just go and lay down and go sleep. So it's a privilege too, but it's not common that women get those support from their partners, and also support from the community, their mom or dads or aunts or sisters. They don't, and I know in Suriname it's kind of like an open community, as in everybody helps around. It's kind of especially in the Asian community, you would have community, but there's also other things that will play, traditions and culture, and the way that they always did it before, and if you read, and if you are on internet, you see that parenthood or parenting is a little bit different than how you were parented by your parents. So you want to change that experience. You want to give your child what you never got. And maybe for me it wasn't materialism, or it's not the materialism side. Of course, yes, Nicholas does buy the toys that he would think Tatum would enjoy, and I would also. But I am more focused on, the love, the caring, the kindness, the awareness of, you want your child to know that he is seen, heard, loved, cared for, wanted, and not just by, giving them like a roof over their head or food or other things that are kind of required as a parent, because you have to give them that, you know what I mean. Their mental health is important for me, or my mental health is also important for me. So that is part of it, and that is for me also something I can relate, and if a mom would say like, oh my gosh, this is hard, this is I don't wish this, or moms that want more children, I understand that part of cuteness and being wanted, and your child needs you, and you want to be there and give your child the best life. What is this stupid person doing? So yeah, that is part of it. And let me see, it's about, let me see, 5353. Yeah, works. So maybe I'm rambling, but my advice to moms is, you are doing great. You have carried a person, grew a person in your body, give the person every nutrition, love, and caring through your body. It's very hard to do that. Get very tired, even though you're working, not working. Just cut yourself some slack. Just, try to create a community for yourself that understands you, supports you, loves you, and even the way you carry yourself. And when you have that baby, just enjoy, even though if you cannot, because you have postpartum and there is a lot going on. Just remember that babies grow very, very fast, and you just want to suck everything up. I could tell you that I look at Tatum and I'm like, oh my gosh, that boy is already tall, and I can't even cuddle him like I wanted to cuddle him when he was a baby. But when he was a baby, I was a little bit afraid. I was afraid that I was dealing with my own emotions and with my own thoughts that I never wanted this, and there he lies, looks exactly like me, wants me, and not it's it's just so overwhelming. And then now he's 2 years old. I look at him and I told Nicholas, I was like, I should have cuddled him more when he was a baby. I kind of miss him as a baby, when he's still a baby, right? So I think even though how you feel, positive, negative, hurt, sad, lonely, just know that there are moms out there that are feeling the same, and that there are moms out there that are feeling the same but cannot share their story because of shame and because of guilt and because of everything. Just know that, but there are moms out there that understand, and you just have to find your community. You just have to find the person that is there, and I'm here, and I understand, and I understand more and more different moms that share different stories, and I even know, I even understand the moms that did the extreme to themselves that aren't here with us, and moms that did extreme with their child and they're in jail. It's not the best way to approach this or say like, oh yeah, but yes, it's sad, but it's there. It happens. It's not far from a bet, because I have been a mom like that, or have those moments, but I have a husband who understands that I could say these things to him, and he can help me and say, hey, you need this, or you need some time, just go, and it helps. A little sleep helps for me, and a little me time helps to be, with friends. And me going back to Suriname will help a lot, because I spent more than 25 years being alone, and I got my baby at 37 years old. So you a woman in that age with a mindset of thinking that they were going to be childless for the rest of their life and not even married, they lived a life, and then just having a life where there is a human being dependent on you, and you have to guide that human being. That is a lot. And I just want to say that, moms, you are the best thing that happens, because we have, we are creating the next generation and the next humankind and the next human being. So just remember that we are the one that has put the generations on this earth to do whatever, have the inventors, and have the engineers, and anybody that has a purpose on earth. I want to also say that I have asked a friend to join me on my podcast. That's a whole new thing. So we will hear her take on Mother's Day. And yeah, that was it for Ramble and Record. Thank you for listening to my podcast. I will, or you will hear me soon, or I will read your text. Bye.